Imagine the most lethal military machine of the ancient world, which simply vanished into the mist. No bodies, no armor, no signs of battle. In the year 108 AD, the 9th Spanish Legion marched north into Britannia. 5,000 elite veterans crossed the edge of the known world to crush a rebellion, and they were never, ever seen again. Were they lured into a trap? Did the empire cover up the greatest disgrace in its history? Or, in the deep forests of Caledonia, did they encounter something else? To understand the scale of this loss, you have to realize who these men were. Legio IX Hispana, the 9th Spanish Legion. This wasn't just an army. It was a living legend, forged by Julius Caesar himself. They were sent to the very edge of the earth. Rome believed it ruled the world, but here, in the damp, freezing north, civilization ended. Beyond lay Caledonia, a land the Romans could never tame. 5,000 professional killers stepped into those dark woods. That was their final entry in history. For years, historians favored the perfect ambush theory. The Pictish tribes didn't fight fair. They were ghosts of the forest. Imagine a column of Romans stretched for miles on a narrow, muddy trail. Fog, rain, and a sudden storm of arrows and spears from all sides. Discipline collapsed. 5,000 men slaughtered to the last. It sounds logical, but there is one massive problem: archaeology. The destruction of 5,000 men and thousands of horses leaves a mark. In Germany, archaeologists still find mountains of bones and gear from lost legions. But in Scotland, nothing. Not a single rivet of armor. The 9th Legion didn't just die. They dropped off the face of the earth. There is, however, one chilling piece of evidence: a massive Roman fortress called Inchtuthil, built deep in hostile territory. It was designed to be the permanent headquarters of the Roman war machine in Scotland. But it was never finished. Instead, it was methodically dismantled. When archaeologists finally excavated the site, they found something bizarre. The Romans hadn't just left. They had carefully buried over 1 million iron nails, 10 tons of solid iron hidden deep underground, so the Pictish tribes couldn't forge them into weapons. Why take the time to bury 10 tons of iron if you aren't planning to ever come back? You only do that if you are running from something you cannot fight, a tactical, terrified retreat. If the Romans left no records of what happened to the 9th, perhaps we should ask the people who lived in those woods, the Picts. Celtic folklore is filled with entities that dwell in the mist. They didn't just fear other tribes, they feared what lurked beneath the peat bogs and deep within the ancient pine forests. Tales of the Sluagh, restless spirits of the dead that fly like a dark flock of birds, stealing the souls of men. Or the ancient gods of the soil, demanding a sacrifice of blood for trespassing on sacred land. Imagine a Roman legionnaire, a man of logic, a man of the civilized Mediterranean, standing knee-deep in freezing mud. The fog rolls in. The compasses fail. The sounds of the forest stop, and then the screaming begins. Which brings us to a darker theory, Damnatio Memoriae, the condemnation of memory. Perhaps the legion showed unimaginable cowardice. For Rome, the loss of honor was worse than death. The empire could have simply disbanded them, erased the Ninth Legion from all historical records, and forbidden anyone from speaking their name, the first massive act of state censorship. Boring academics believe they were just transferred east and lost later. But Rome's own architecture screams otherwise. 14 years after the legion vanished, Emperor Hadrian arrives in Britannia. He doesn't send a new army to get revenge. He gives an order that was unthinkable for proud Rome. He orders them to stop. He builds Hadrian's Wall, a colossal stone barrier stretching 73 miles. An empire that conquered half the world suddenly decides to wall itself in. You don't build a 73-mile stone wall just to mark a border. You build it to keep something out. Whatever swallowed the Ninth Legion in that fog, Rome decided it never wanted to face it again. What do you think happened to the elite of Rome? An ambush, a censorship conspiracy, or something with no name? Let me know your theory in the comments. Subscribe to the channel to explore history's darkest mysteries. And remember, some secrets are better left buried. See you in the next video.